Okay, my name is Zakashi, guys, and in this video here we're going to be doing a should you summon for Ultra Golden Frieza. This is probably the maddest unit that could have dropped right now because out of everything he's purple, but a stack on top of that he's a direct counter to Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, who dropped not even a month ago, maybe just a month ago, but that's crazy. But of course this could be the Gohan stopper, so you want to know whether it's going to be worth it to summon on this banner. Comment how many Chrono Crystals you've got down below before we get into this video. I'm going to give you some precursors, going to read the kit information, just the key parts, then I'm going to give you whether you should summon, and I'll also tell you whether I'm summoning. Let's get into this video now. Right, so before we get into this video, like I said, we're going to go into some precursors so that you guys can be right on track so you can make the best decision for your account. Now, the first thing I always advise is that you guys should definitely watch showcases. You guys are not content creators, which is the most reason why you're probably watching this video. You want advice, so I advise for you to watch your favorite content creator, whoever is summoning on this banner. They're going to upload a showcase using the unit, and that would give you the best idea of what they can do on a pretty good team, because most content creators have been playing this game for a while. They have good teams, good equipment, so you'd be able to see, alright, cool, I can build a similar team and the unit performs like XYZ, so that means they could be good for me. Do you get what I'm saying? Another thing you could do, you could also wait for a while, so not a long time, but you could wait until the last day, so you can know very much so if the unit is actually good in the meta. In a lot of cases, even though you watch showcases, you might like how they look, but after a week or so, the unit just phases out completely and nobody's using them in PvP. The reason that is simply because the unit didn't end up being good. So time is a very good test to see what units are super valuable. So I advise you waiting. There's no real rush for you. It's an ultra banner too, so you've got a lot of time to make your decision regarding it. I also advise you consider the near future. I've already put on this movement where we're saving for Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Not necessarily him, but whatever the anniversary is. For me, it's specifically him, but I know a lot of people just want to summon based on the fact that the anniversary is going to be hype, and whatever drops then will probably get people to spend their Chrono Crystals and definitely change the meta, because anniversary characters are like game breakers. So that's something you should know. And I want to add, just to end off this video, because it is an ultra banner, the amount of Chrono Crystals you have very much will be a factor. So some people might get lucky and get first summon, first rotation, whatever, cool. Most people won't. So if you only have like 5,000 Chrono Crystals, summoning on this banner is not ideal, because you just be throwing basically no Chrono Crystals into a pit. There's no point if you're not having a high chance with your low amount of Chrono Crystals. If you had a decent amount, I'd be like, cool, you could spend and you have a high chance of getting the unit if it really was for you. But most people will not have a high amount of Chrono Crystals, so make the decision that's smartest for you. Alright, so boom, now we're gonna go into Golden Frieza's kit. I'm gonna basically read out all the important bits. I'm not reading out everything because not everything is going to be relevant. If you want to read every single line, go ahead, but there's just small details here that really just, they're not going to make the biggest difference. So I'll read out everything important. It's a breakdown more of the key factors, not of the whole kit. So what you'll need to know is his elements. So he's purple. Of course, that's a big deal because Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan exists, but his character tags Frieza Force, Transforming Warrior, Lineage of Evil, Powerful Opponent, and Lineage of Evil being the most important two. But what's also a good thing, or maybe a bad thing, is that he fits on sagas from the movies. That's the episode that he's from, because he's from Resurrection F. Going further into the Z ability, you can see that he also buffs Powerful Opponent, but not just that, sagas from the movies, which is actually pretty relevant. He doesn't buff Lineage of Evil, however, everyone in Lineage of Evil except maybe like Go Frieza is already a Powerful Opponent, so it doesn't really make a big difference anyways. So just bear that in mind when you are building a team if you plan to summon on this guy. The Ultra ability is the same as always, it's just that it's Powerful Opponent, just note that. It's not Lineage of Evil, but the way it works is the same as always. The Strike Arts is pretty valuable because it has Blast Armor. The only real person that can stop it is anybody that has a team with Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan because of the anti-Blast Armor card. But he also gets plus 10% damage received for time accounts if the enemy is hit, so you're going to be doing more damage every single card, and you have the additional Blast Armor, which can help you go through some Blast Arts. The Blast Arts is regular, but what you need to note is that similar to how Gohan carries the anti-Blast card, Frieza carries a blast card that can give you plus 20% damage inflicted to blast damage. So he's not going to be doing more blast damage every blast card. Just on occasion, you might draw a card that gives you the status effect plus 20% damage inflicted to blast damage. Going into the special move, he does 50% special move damage when it's activated. He's also going to reduce the health restoration by minus 50% for 10 time accounts. This is actually a big deal. A lot of characters have healing, and healing is a big factor for why people lose nowadays. So if you've got the health restoration on decline, they're not going to be healing as much, then you'd essentially be able to take them out faster. Also 100% bleed every time you land the blue card, and this has blast armor too, so it's a charging forward type. The bleed is underrated, especially because it's extreme bleed. So hitting that, you'd be chipping off their health even if they switch to the sideline. So that's good to know. So here we got the green card. The green card's super good, right? You can see here he randomly draws at most 2 or more cards when he has 3 or fewer cards. So you're going to be getting a new deck, basically. Not a full deck, but it's enough. He's going to restore ki by 50, do more damage inflicted, get cover null, which is super good, which is what's important. But here's the big part of the green card. So he gets his vanishing gauge up every single time he does a green card. But it depends on how many of his allies are dead or alive. So if nobody's dead, he's only going to restore 50. But then on top of that, there's also the unique gauge going up. So if nobody's dead is 20%, 2 of them are dead is 25, 3 of them are dead, or I said 3 of them. So if nobody's dead, 20%, 1 of them's dead, 25, and then if you're a last man, you get 30%. But the vanishing gauge is going up by 10% as well each time. So if you pop it, nobody's dead, 50%. Pop it, 1 person's dead, 60%, and last stand, 70%. That's good to know overall for the green card. The ultimate art's kind of crazy because it does supreme explode damage. This guy is genuinely on that business. But of course, 50% ultimate damage. He's going to nullify endurance, which is here. 30% to enemy sustained damage cut here. Then he does AoE damage, which is the main thing you probably want to take away from it. Blast armor, that's kind of standard for any character for ultimate arts nowadays. But AoE damage will be doing a lot, especially if you land this on a green, aka Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. The main ability here, it has an effect that takes place based on his new ability that's called Comeback, but I'll get to that later. So he draws an ultimate art, which is Emperor, Death Crusher. I've already spoke about it. He gets health and ki and cancels enemy attribute upgrades. Here, the following effects occur if this character's special action that activates when health reaches 0 has been activated. So it's the comeback ability, which I said I'll speak about in a bit. But if the comeback ability has been activated, he will get type neutral for 15 time counts and reduce ki by 50 for the enemy. So that's good for you. And the type neutral in general, not just type neutral against damage sustained, but overall type neutral, that's good. That's really good. Here we have unique ability 1. So he starts with the unique gauge by 100%, so it's already going to go up. Then it says here 170% damage inflicted. So these are like the base things that every unit gets. So you can see the reduced damage received, draw speed, 100% charge rate here for 90 timer counts. So it gets slower late game because this is only for 90 timer counts. Cost goes down for special move and nullifies attribute downgrades for 60 timer counts. Here, applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield. So he's going to restore his ki by 30 and nullify enemy ki, reduce ki effects. You know, some people reduce ki. For example, I believe Bulla, Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan does, Pan as well. For 5 timer counts, you won't see any of those happen to Golden Frieza, which is actually a good plus. Here, the following effects occur every time when faced with an enemy. So he's going to restore his own ki by 15, plus 20% to that strike damage inflicted for 10 timer counts. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade, plus 60% to blast arts cost, which is a big deal, very big deal. Minus 50% to ki recovery for the enemy, which is actually good as well. If they're trying to charge, they have to do it manually and they can't just gradually restore it because their ki recovery is slow as hell. The following effects occur when this character performs a vanishing step. So off vanishing, you be getting some buffs. Say if you got a PV and you had no cards, you will draw 1 card, which is good, so you can immediately start your combo. He's going to restore own ki by 30, reduce the enemy ki by 25, and then also lower their card draw speed by 1. And in this scenario, you get hit with any of these. So special move, ultimate art, awakened art, a rising rush, while the character is on standby. So if he's on the sidelines, shortens own sub count by 5, so that he could actually come back in because he has the comeback ability. So if you get hit by it, you will just activate the comeback ability, which we'll get into in a bit. Going in here, he has a blast cover change which can get comboed into his blue card. It doesn't say it can be comboed into his ultimate, which is interesting, but that's just something you should really know. Here we have the comeback ability. Now, just in short, if you don't understand what it is, it's just revival. But the difference between revival and comeback, with revival, you would revive into a new state, form, character, basically getting a new kit. There'll be 2 kits in your individual kit for the character. There's no second kit for Frieza. He just basically revives into what he already was, but he's going to do a bit of damage when he actually does the comeback. So he does a little counter. So you can see here, remain undefeated and the following effects occur when health reaches 0. So he's going to get 30% damage inflicted, type neutral for 2 timer counts, deals massive pierce damage. The damage from this attack cannot cause the enemy to be defeated, and it's just saying here, cannot be activated by enemy self-destruct. So if the enemy self-destructs, the comeback won't happen. And then this as well, will not activate in co-op or full power battle. So it's just good to note. The only reason he goes type neutral is so he can do a bit of damage when he does the counter that's going to happen. It's like a little beam attack that one of his Frieza Force guys do. Not a big deal, but it's going to do damage, of course. The following effects occur also when this after this attack hits. So once the counter hits, he's going to get 50% health, nullify on unfavorable element factors for damage sustained. He's going to get 100% to own unique gauge charge rate. It's the charge rate, not it's going to increase. Shortens ally sub count by 10, so your whole team basically gets reset. Destroys all of your enemy cards. Reduce enemy key by 100, which is a big deal, so you have no key if you get hit by the counter. You're going to get extreme bleed immediately, and inflicts enemy attribute downgrade -1 card draw speed for 20 time accounts, which is insane. So you're going to have to find a way to counter that. And then he's also going to seal your enemy main abilities, which is insane. Like, sealing the main ability is kind of annoying for 5 time accounts, but you're gonna have to charge that to the game. While the character's on the battlefield, charges on unique gauge, applies the following effects itself while unique gauge is full. So these are some buffs that come from filling it. So you can see here, 30% damage inflicted, draw speed up, key recovery, and cost go down, which is good for you. And then down here, cancels own attribute downgrade on normal conditions after enemy attack is over. Consistently. So if you touch him after you do some debuffs to him, he's basically gonna make them dip. If unique gauge is full, it resets to 0, and the following effects also occur. So he's going to restore own health by 50%. Effect will not activate if own health reaches 0 after enemy attack is over. So if the comeback happens, you won't get this HP, of course, because you're at 0. Randomly destroys one of your own combos, one of your own cards, and draws a special arts card next, which is just something extra. This can activate twice, so just put that out there. Reduces enemy key by 30, just to end the key, just to inconvenience you just that bit more. So that's all of Golden Frieza's kit. Not too bad. I think it's pretty good, actually. Okay, so you want to know whether I think it's worth it for you to summon. Now, if you run any of these 2 teams and you're really dedicated, definitely summon on this banner. I think it's going to be very useful for you, and you should actually summon on this banner. So we've got Lineage of Evil and Powerful Opponents. If you dedicate yourself to any of these 2 teams, like wholeheartedly, this banner is worth it for you. Golden Frieza, you kind of need this guy. He's going to make a big difference. If you don't, outside of that, I don't think anyone should really be summoning on this banner. He does also fit on movies, but I feel like there's no reason to summon if you are a movies guy, because movies get so many things throughout the year that there'll probably be so much things better than this guy anyways. Golden Frieza, I think his core value isn't his individual kit. It's more so the fact that he's going to have a lot of good allies alongside him, so he's able to form already an overpowered team. If he's on Lineage of Evil, he's got the first form Frieza buffs, blue final form cooler buffs. He's going to be running with gold Frieza. It's insane. With the Zenkai buffs, Lineage of Evil will just have so much stock in general. If you're running on Powerful Opponent, well, surprise, surprise, he's best friends with the best unit in the game, and it's even clearer now, LL Super 17. So that's obviously going to have a big impact on the way the meta works. So for him, he's in a good position himself. He's looking like a top 5 unit, especially because of the teams he's on. Lineage of Evil specifically even has way more stock because of their equipments. I didn't even touch on those. They have one of the best equips in the game. They're just completely juiced, and the reveals just glazed them to death. They're getting 3 overpowered equips just like that. So you really got to consider, if you're running that team, he's going to be a big factor. So I advise definitely summoning if you're Lineage of Evil or Powerful Opponent purely dedicated. If not, I advise you skip this banner. We've got the anniversary coming up. There might be other things that could bait us even bigger than this, and you might be surprised, but it's very likely pre anniversary that we get something bigger than this. So I'm just putting that out there. The rate that they dropped this unit but right after Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is too fast. So I think it's very likely that we could get another Ultra right before the anniversary. It's not going to be a shock at all, because we usually get an Ultra at the end of the anniversary, not at the start. So that's my advice. Summon if you run LOE or Powerful Opponent purely dedicated. Otherwise, you should very much be saving, in my opinion. It's not that much worth it for collector's sake. Of course, collector's is completely different. You get 1 copy, you're satisfied. But if you just want to use him on another team like Hybrid Saiyans or something, I wouldn't advise it. Definitely do not go for something like that. It wouldn't work in your best interest. Now, people want to know whether I'm going to be summoning on this banner, and my answer is no. I have no interest in any Lineage of Evil unit. I have Gold Frieza, but that's strictly because Goku's on that unit. So I'm just not an LOE fan. I'm just not. I don't see myself summoning for Frieza. There's only one scenario where I'll be summoning for this unit. If somebody literally funded me money, and that's not me asking for money, but some people in streams, for example, they often send money and say, do a rotation on this banner. If somebody did something like that, I'd be obliged to summon. You know, that's for the free ski. But This is not a unit that I would use long term, even if I did summon. I'm saving for the anniversary. I got my priority straight. I skipped the limit break banner, and that's already hurting my heart. So I'm going to keep my chrono crystals up. I'm going to skip this banner. I'm not advising you to make your own decisions for yourself. If you think I'm not going to summon, you don't know me very well. But at the same time, if somebody did fund me, I'm going to summon without remorse. And that would be the reason why. So if you see me with Golden Frieza, that's why. But if you don't see me in Golden Frieza, you know I skipped it. That's legit. I'm going to be honest about it. That's just my only scenario. But for me, I'm saving. I'm even on like 7,000 chrono crystals right now. So I'm taking it slow and steady, doing the marathon with you guys that are saving. So yeah, good luck either way. But yeah, man, that's going to be the end of the video. Hopefully this video was useful, man. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 100,000 subscribers. Good luck if you're summoning. Good luck if you're saving. My name's Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.